Welcome to this brand new video tutorial series. In this video, we're going to learn how to create, publish, or deploy a free report design such as invoice, accounting report, analysis report, and much more. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. What is JasperReport? If you are a programmer, of course, a designer, so these are the types of this application is capable of creating a report for such as like I mentioned a while ago, like the accounting, reporting, like for analysis. So for this demo, we're going to demonstrate on how to deploy your reports using JasperReports or Jasper Studio Reports and publish that to JasperReport server. So for our demo, this is the company or the application that we use. This is powered by TIBCO. So what is JasperReport server? By definition, it is a standalone and embedded reporting server, enabling delivering of mission critical information on a real-time or scheduled basis to the web, the printer, or the variety of file formats, such as scheduled basis to the web. And also, this report can be executed, exported, and desired output, or even on a scheduled basis. So that's the main purpose of this JasperReport server. Now, back in old days, if you are familiar with such common like now, like the W or any report services that you know, JasperReports has a free versions for this one. So to demonstrate, let's start with JasperReports download site. So this is the download site for JasperReport. So just log into or search for this in this https community.jaspersoft.com/project and search for the JasperReport server. Now, if you're running Windows, so head for this download section here. So upon this download section, if you can see this one. Okay, so one of the requirements for this one is you need to have a account. So to do that, you need to register this account. So if you're done with that, then head to this download section, then go somewhere here. So this is the sections for the download. So you can pick any from this reference here for the preference of your operating system. So since I'm using Windows 10, I'll prefer to use this one. This is the Win by 8664.exe. So just pick based on your preference. But for now, just download this one. So after you download this one, I already prepared that in here. So let's install that by simply double click that. Okay, while waiting, if you are familiar with JasperReports, JasperReports are very well-known reports back in the old days. Before, we're using the iReports. But later on, they already prefer the server. This is the server hosting or the publish for that report. And later, they already also advanced with Jasper Studio. So later, we'll discuss with you on how to install that. For now, so this is the JasperReports server. So just hit next. Just accept this license. By the way, I'm using the community, so there's also a version for the license one. So for now, community does everything, so there's nothing to worry about it. So just accept and click next. Then I prepare to install the first one, or select the first one. And if you're satisfied with this path, just click next. Do you want to use Chromium? First, we need to click yes. Okay, so if you have Chromium, just select the Chromium. But if you don't have, let's pick the no. So for those who don't know what is Chromium, this is most commonly used in Python. Where use Chromium to host their first source is in web using the Chromium. So just click next. Then reports and dashboard contain charts that cannot be exported to PDF, dogs, and other foods. Are you sure? Then click yes. So there's also a question here. Please select the Tomcat configuration that you want to use. So I want to use the bundle Tomcat. So select this one. Then next. So if you already have a Tomcat, automatically it will skip on that part. So, but for now, since we don't have, so we're going to prepare or install the built-in Tomcat on the server. So this shouldn't take long. Okay, so going back, if you are a developer and you want to host your reports, JasperReports, or the JasperReports server is one of the best choice for that. Even in the early days, Jasper has already been there, already been used long ago. So even me, I'm using the Jasper, using the iReports. So if you are familiar with that one, so it's a good thing that you can also, or one also to integrate that with the JasperReports server. So I think this should take long. Okay. So what are other features for this one? So basically, let's click on this view. Okay, so if you headed to quick start in here, these are the features and benefits of using this JasperReports server. So under here, it has the semantic layer for relational and non-relational database source, PI editions only, on the premises, virtualized, or cloud. And also they have this open standard REST, SOAP-based web services architecture, simplified, and web application integration. So there's a bunch here that you can explore. And this is the example. Okay, so this is the example page of the JasperReports server. So once you log in, so these are the things that you can do. So including all conversion for any reports that you're going to design, you can export that as for this selection here. Next. Okay. So if you're familiar with the old style of iReports, so you can host that here and see the changes or see the preview online. So this is the good way of practicing or using these Jaspersoft reports. Okay, so it will take long. Okay, so this one also is good for orders. So if you're planning to make a customer reports, so JasperReports server is a good choice also as well. Me, I'm using that for almost more than 10 years already. So it's been a long time since then. So if you are experts with Java, PHP, this is a good choice. And please take note, I think this is powered by Java, because most of the server here hosted in Tomcat. So that's why there's a selection in the installation that it has for a Tomcat. So same goes. So later, if you are or if we are on the Jasper Studio sections, then we're going to demonstrate that on the later part on how to use the Jaspersoft Studio and publish that to our Jaspersoft server. Okay, so while waiting, you can skip this part if you want to, and just take note on the initial installation. So just take note on that. So don't nothing to worry. There's no special requirements, but instead, maybe on the part on the design where you are required to such things such as download a JR or jar. So that's the JDBC requirements for if you are integrating a database. So take note, this is only integrates only the SQL that you know, but also the non-SQL such as Mongo and the rest. So this is a good start. So let's wait. Okay, on the later part, I'll be preparing a tutorial on how to integrate this report in a coding base. So if you are familiar with Node.js, I'll be creating a simple code syntax on how to call your design reports on your local, then calling that in the server. So just stay tuned for that. And also not only Node.js, I'm planning to demonstrate also using Python. And of course, the very well-known Java. So just stay tuned on that. Okay, so we're done. So notice here, we're on the last section. So it asks for start Jasper server and open browser to log in page and options to or Jasper server hit or hard wave. Okay, so this is the, you can say the sessions for this one. So let's start with click finish. Okay. Guys, if you are using Tomcat, don't you worry. It will just take the hosting site of your Tomcat. Notice that this is host in 8080. So Tomcat is running on 8080. So same goes. So don't you worry. It will not override of what Tomcat you're using. But if you are, if let's say you use this in your server, so you can swap this to the existing Tomcat you have. So that will be on the advanced lessons for that. So right now, we're demonstrating on how to access this JasperReports server. On the first try, it will take a while because it's going to load up all the components needed. So let's wait a while. So for you guys, you can skip this video and head out on the running part. Okay, cool. Now that we are on the login page, so for you to access this one, you need to type Jasper admin. So we are here already. So by default, the username is just Jasper admin, and same goes with the password Jasper admin. So hit login. Okay, so okay guys, so this is the server, Jasper server, and these are the things that you can found in here. So in here, if you notice this left corner here, we have 5 folders wherein this covers or place your components of the report that later you're going to publish. Let's say this one, analysis component, where let's say like this one. So let's say I'm going to click this one here. Okay, so for now, we don't have the analysis for employee count. So let's head back. Okay, so these are the sections. So this is the section for analysis component. Now next for that, we have also the content files. So let's examine first. Okay, so far we don't have. So this is the component file or the content files. And this section here is the data source. Of course, if you are publishing a report, it requires a data source. So we have, for example, here, this is an example from this source. So we have the JDBC here, the JNDI, and other stuff here. So let's say I'm going to edit one of this one. Let's say if I click edit. Okay, so this is the settings that you're going to see when you were about to edit one of the source. Okay, so if you are familiar with iReports, same goes, this requires a JDBC driver or a JNDI. So this applies to all database that you know, including Mongo, MySQL, SQLite, and much more. Let's say Let's try this one. Okay, so like this one, this is a JDBC driver. So in here, if you don't have the driver, you need to pick the select driver, browse that one, and then upload here. So that's one way of selecting this driver. So let's say, okay, so these are the lists that available right now. So this example, we already have the MySQL and Postgres. So other than that, there's another bunch here. So you need to pick the right driver for this one. So by simply go to the certain website of that particular and then download the driver you need to access this JDBC. So later on, you're going to, once you have this one, and that's the time you can access or preview your report. The question is, where is the sections for the report? So, but for this section here, we have another section here, which is called the images. So let's say if you have a logo for that reports, you can host that here. So it is also required to post your image. Let's say if you have a header or a footer, or even small details of image, you can host that here. Now, for the reports, usually we are about to host that in this section here. So once you deploy, better host that in here. So let's try one example from here. So let's say this one. Okay, so these are the connections for that report. Okay, so this is a okay, so let's cancel this one. Okay, so this is the section where you host your report. And the last one, we have the themes. These are the themes for our report. So if you have some customized CSS, you can also post that in here. Okay, so cool. So that's it, guys. So this is the sections for our Jasper report server. So don't you worry, because on the later part, we're going to discuss all of these section here, such as the search result, repository, schedule, messages, users, roles, server settings, and so. Okay, so now that we demonstrate on how to install the Jasper report server, now let's proceed with the Jaspersoft Studio. So let's proceed to that one. Okay, so this is the Jaspersoft Studio. So if you are familiar with iReport, so Jaspersoft Studio is the enhanced version of that one. So by definition, Jaspersoft Studio is a powerful desktop report designer for developing data, visualizations, and full-fledged reports. Featuring the industry's most advanced design environment, it enables you to create highly formatted, pixel-perfect raw reports and data visualization. So to start with, you need to head to this section here, or just Google it out and search for Jaspersoft Studio. So once you are on this page, so just get the application in this section, somewhere here. Now pick the version that you are or compatible. Let's say if you're using Windows, just like mine, I'll be using this one. This is the version 86 by 64. So if you are working with different OS, we have also here for Linux and Mac OS. So once you download, so just select those or select one of these here and then hit download. Now I already downloaded this a while ago. So let's proceed with the installation. Right now we have the version of 6.17. Okay, back in the early days, if you are a Java programmer or developer, Jasper is very well known or common to report system. Even in the early days of desktop programming, so we're using Jasper to preview our report. So back in the old days, iReport, the old version, which is the iReport, is one of the popular or most commonly used. On the later part, they already upgraded to Jaspersoft Studio. So okay, so we're now on the installation part. So if you are on this page or this section here, so let's agree. Okay, so select agree. Then, if you are satisfied with this location, just click install. So if you are wondering what language used for Jaspersoft Studio, the same goes with iReport. These are all created in Java. So most of the requirements here are needed for jar, to be exactly. So those are the plugins needed for this one. So later, once we're done, let's check all the requirements here. So what's the connection between your Jaspersoft Studio? It simply is to host or serves as your design, local design application. So this will be later on hosted to Jaspersoft server. So okay, cool, we're done. So once we're done, so just maintain this selection here, then click finish. Okay, same goes with Jaspersoft server. The first load should take a while. Okay, so I can see my icon already here. So, okay, there you go. Okay, so as of the time of this recording, we are now on version, or the community version of 6.17. So like I said, guys, this is all free. You can use this upon your vis, and you can do a lot of bunch of things from here. So including the invoices, and the good thing part is this is integratable. So you can integrate this to any language that you can use, such as Java, PHP, and Node.js as well, and much more. So this is a good start for you if you want to create this type of reports. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is your first time in Jaspersoft Studio. So this is the welcome page or the starting point. So let's start with clicking this icon here, get started. And there you go. So this is similar to iReport. So if you are using iReport in the old days, so the Jaspersoft Studio has a similar features. So here we have the data adapters, or the sections where you create your connections, such as this sample DB here. So let's say if you're going to edit that. Okay, so same goes. So you can pick any driver from here, so as long as it is available. Or else you need to download all this driver before using that. So let's say you are using MySQL, but the problem is there's no driver. So what you need to do is download that driver, the jar, and then proceed to this section here, driver class path. So this is where you're going to add that jar, the J connector so that this will accessible to the database that you're working on. So that's the way on how to connect with jar. So next, so this is the data adapter. So this window here, this in the middle is the workspace, and the right section, this is the palette or the component part. Lower to that, we have the properties where all the components can be modified. So this is the properties. And the outline. So outline is the section. So these are this down of sections. Later on the next part, we're going to create this. We'll create the test reports and deploy. So just stay tuned. And the last one we have here, we have the server section. So this is where we connect our server. So let's say going to connect that. So click create JasperReports server. Now take note on this name here and the URL. So from here, just type the Jasper admin. That's the default one. I'm going to copy that here. Okay. So don't mind with this organization because we didn't create that in the server. So also this one here. So don't mind with this section here, the advanced. So just proceed with the test connection. Okay, if you see this is a successful prompt, so which means this one is okay. And click OK and finish. Now once your server is already connected, you will notice that there are similar to the reports or the server that I demonstrated a while ago will be viewed in here. So any changes you're going to do in Jaspersoft Studio can be published directly to our server. So this is how we work on the server part. So on the publishing part, so there's an icon here. This one. This is the publish file on the JasperReports server. So this is the section where let's say you already finished with your report. So this is the section where you're going to hit that or publish that your existing report. Okay, so that's it. So that's on the first part. So on the next part, we'll be tackling more on the use of Jaspersoft Studio. So just stay tuned. So once again, if you find this video informative, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. And see you guys on the next video series. Cheers!